All right, if you clicked on this, you already know what we're doing. So we're just gonna jump right in. First off, jack it up. I always go off the center point, and I still have these little nubs right here. Then we're gonna yank these wheels off. All right, after you get those removed, we'll just pop the tire off. I'm rocking 1 1/4 spacers on this. And I always one-handed here, put the tire under the frame, just in case anything stupid happens. I'd rather ruin a wheel than lose a leg. All right, now we're gonna start breaking all this loose. All right, I like to start by taking off my caliper, my brake line, and my ABS line. You could probably get away with just doing just the top here off the upper control arm and dropping the spindle and laying everything to the side, but I'm actually doing some more work in here, so I'm taking all this off, but honestly, I take it off every time. So anyways, got 10 mil, a 12, and a 17. Actually, 2 17s. You can see this other one down here. Mine are all broke loose already, because you don't need to watch me turn a wrench. So let's get this off here. And then also we got to undo these clips right here. I'll show you how those work. All right, for this little clip up top on the ABS line, I take a tiny flathead and I just wedge it up in the top like that. Don't get too crazy, you don't want to break it. And then just kind of roll it and it will pop loose. You can see it's kind of got like a clip on both sides type of thing. So it's kind of a pain, but if you're just patient with it, you won't break it. Some guys pull the whole thing out, but I feel like that wears out the bottom side. You can also get in there, but sometimes it's tight to get up in there and unclip it that way. I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but that's how I do it. Then for the ABS line down here, let me see if I can get you a good shot on this. There we go. You can kind of see inside there, there's a clip right there, but it's actually in there. You can see it moving. If you got a little bit of a fingernail, you can get in there, or use a screwdriver. All right, I needed both hands to do it, but basically you can see the button right there. It's right there. You just push down on that with one hand and pull with the other, it just pops right off. All right, after you get that line fished out and over here, you can leave it on this bracket because that's all gonna come off with this piece. So now this is all broke loose here. And I pull out my bottom 17, I leave my top one in. You can see a little anti-seize on there. But I leave my top one in just a little bit to hold the caliper up on there. Then I have these, it's just a piece of TIG wire. You can use whatever, but this is what I've always done. So I just put them up there like that. Then I'll use this bottom hook right here to hook right here on the caliper. So I'm gonna need 2 hands to wiggle this off here, but I'll show you hanging up there. All right, there goes that. Then you don't have to deal with zip ties or anything breaking. These are pretty stout. You can even use a hanger, like clothes wire hanger. Done that in the past, but anyways, that's how it hangs. See it right there. And now this is all safely out of the way. All right, once you get these lines removed, you got this pin right here. Mine's already pulled loose, but you can see how it works. It just goes through, and then this goes through the little grooves on that and hooks on the back side. So you pull that pin, put it somewhere safe. Then it's a 19 on the shear bolt, and the nut is a 19 as well. So we'll break all this loose, and then we'll work on getting this shear bolt out. All right, to get at this upper ball joint a little bit easier, I like to remove the end link here on the sway bar. So it's a 17 nut, and if you're unlucky and you can't get it out, I always hit them with penetrating oil before I start. But if it's a little boogered up, it's a 6 hex on mine. Yours might differ, but should be a 6. Yeah, there you go. And then back that off. And let's see if I'm lucky, if I can get it off. Yeah, once you get that off, push that out of the way, you got a lot more room. All right, so we got these all loosened up. Just a little side note, whenever you got a bunch of trash built up in the threads, don't try and overwork it and get it all bound up, because you're just creating, you know, a harder time for yourself. So what I like to do is I like to, if I can get it however loose I can, then tighten it up a little bit and then slowly work it off like that, and it will clean those threads up as it goes and make it to where it's like this, to where it's just basically by hand. The same is true for the shear. See, it's just by hand. And then penetrating oil. But anyways, I tucked this line, this ABS line behind the shear and the upper control arm, just so it's out of the way. Be mindful of this brake line and the ABS line whenever you're loosening this. And now we'll go ahead and take all that off. This guy up here, this shear bolt, you're gonna run into this right here, and I'm sure you've seen people bend the hell out of this whole area trying to get this out. You really don't have to get too carried away with it, and you know, just basically in that general area is where you need to shoot. There's a line back here that the clip is right here too, so you unclip that, push that guy out, that'll get that line out of the way, and then we'll go up top and I'll show you. But we don't need to bend, you know, everything all to hell to get just that shear bolt out. So let's do this. Oh, and then right here, this, I like to leave these on just a little bit, just so whenever you do give this a couple little love taps on the side here to break loose from the upper ball joint, it doesn't just, you know, fall all the way off. Basically, it's got that to fall back on. There you go. Simple. All right, on this side, after you get everything all broke loose, same thing, we're gonna bend this directly in line with this guy. There's 2 clips I let loose that are wiring in here, so there's a black one and a white one. And then this AC line, there's a bracket on the inside. See if we can get a shot of that. It just has a, you can see it kind of right there, but it just has a little bracket that it just pops into. You just pop that out the side, and that'll give you more than enough clearance to come up through there. All right, to make room for this shear bolt, we're gonna have to unclip this guy on this oval. On the 2 ends of it, there's ears that you just will pinch with some needle nose, and then it just pushes in. I mean, pretty easy. Then we'll go up top here. And you can see there's, if I can get my hand in here, but there's this bracket. I believe it's a 10 mil on it. You're just gonna loosen that guy so you can move this out of the way. And then the line we just unclipped is this guy right here. So that'll clear us up to come out with that shear bolt. All right, so you can see here, it's literally all the more I had to bend it. And then you might need some deeper channel locks. That's what I used, but there is a rib where it doubles up on the still, like roughly in this area. So I had to grab it right there, pull it down. But that's all the more it needs to be. Doesn't need to get too crazy. And that is completely passed, so I'll get this pulled out. All right, to get the coilover out, you got 3 14s up here. They can be pretty boogered up, so I put a little bit of penetrating oil on the top, and then I'll use a open-ended wrench with the boxed in on that side, and I'll use like a dead blow. And don't get carried away with it. These are already all broke loose, but just tap it over. It's not crazy. And then down below, you've got a 19 right here. And same thing, I use penetrating oil, and I'm gonna have to reuse these bolts and nuts. So I try and, as I'm backing them off, I back them off till they start to bind up, tighten a little bit, work it back and forth in that area to try and clean those threads. Not only just for the ease of use, but also so whenever I go to put these back, you can get pretty accurate torque specs without all the trash and the threads. So we got that all pulled out, and we're gonna drop this out of here. All right, we got that out of there. Now's a good time to clean this up. Throw a little paint if you want, make it look pretty. And just for a comparison, this is the old coilover that came out of there. So old man Emu, I don't know who put it in there. It was in there when I got it, but looks like it's been there a while. So we got these guys going in there, slightly taller, I believe, not by much, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, just a hair. So I think these should be like a 2.75-ish lift. And yeah, let's get these slapped in there. This other side yanked. All right, once you get that, throw them back in and your paint's all dried up and it looks all pretty. You're gonna throw the 3 up top. Those are torqued to 47 foot-pounds. And then your guy down on the bottom is 61 foot-pounds, I believe. And I threw a little anti-seize on that, just so it makes my life easier next time. Button that up and then we'll move forward. All right, we got the upper control arm back in. Did it by myself, probably easier with 2 people, but one's totally doable. So we got 85 on the shear nut, and 60 is the new torque spec for their upper ball joint. Now that that's all buttoned up, we'll throw the caliper on, the brackets, where's the other one? Right there. And then ABS. And I'll show you everything after it's done and hit you with the specs. All right, we're all back together. Got the caliper installed, got the lines ran. I had to cut this guy just to make a little bit of room up here so it sat right in these brackets. 9 foot-pounds on this little guy and 9 foot-pounds on this guy right here. If you don't have a torque wrench that goes that low, 9 foot-pounds is next to nothing. Just snug, don't get crazy. And then the caliper bolts, these two, down here and right here, 91 foot-pounds. And that's it, all back together. All right, we're back on the rubber here. Just wanted to give you a quick little overview, show you what it looks like all done. Dirty, hit some trails with it. Definitely a huge upgrade. These videos take a while to record, edit, all that stuff. Way longer than it takes you to hit that sub button, like, comment. Anyways, just wanted to put that out there. You guys have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.